right, welcome back to Candid Convos with Nurse E. Actually, Candid Convos is on tour. I'm actually in my first home.
Okay.
Raleigh.
Yes.
With a very, everybody is special, and I need to stop saying that because they're gonna be like, really? Am I really that
Picking
special?
favorites.
Right. But I am here, you guys, with a Raleigh lifestyle photographer, influencer that is just doing really big things, and his name is Davonte Green.
Yes,
and
yes.
I am so happy to be here with him. We're gonna just jump right into it.
Let's get
Davonte,
it.
I know you as a very close friend of mine.
Yes.
You took her headshots.
Yes, that's how
And
I
I
started.
saw your work,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, I need him to do some photos of me.
You did.
And my husband and I, we came down to Raleigh.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of were like, hey, I think this is the kind of feel we want. This is how we want things to look. You know, can you make this happen?
Yes.
And you was like, no problem.
Easy.
And so you made it happen. And you may not know this, but you took pictures at a very crucial time in my life.
Oh, yeah?
Yes. I had suffered a loss and just was like all over the place emotionally and had all of these expectations, you know, and it was just like, and we were planning for a photo shoot, but the photo shoot never happened.
I had no idea.
And so I was like, you know what? I'm still going to go on with this photo shoot. I'm still going to make it happen. Me and my husband, we're going to take these photos. And they turned out wonderful. Hey, you guys stay till the end of the video.
Yes.
Because I will likely post some of those photos, post some of his work.
Wow.
And if you're ever in the Raleigh area, you need to come and check them out.
What
okay.
She said.
Yeah. So
that's crazy.
Yeah. So
I had no
you didn't know that. But
I had no idea. That whole, I remember getting an inquiry, and Kim, your friend, had reached out to me. She was like, hey, I have a friend reaching out. She wants photos done. And you were real specific, which I like. You were like, hey, I don't want a long session, maybe like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
What I want is, we want like a certain light in the background.
Yeah.
Like, it's me and my husband. We just want some black and white. I remember it being lights, and black and white was the main thing. I rode around Raleigh, and how ironic that we are in North Hills. I looked on this side.
Yeah.
They had lights over here. We ended up on the other side of North Hills, and we made that happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had no idea.
No idea.
But that was our first encounter, and it was, yeah.
And I think that, you know, you need to know that because people don't know how much of an impact that they have on your life.
Yes.
And sometimes we don't share it in that very moment, but we share it later. You know what I mean?
When the time is right.
Exactly. And it's like, dang, I didn't even know like my presence or what I do was that powerful.
And now that I'm looking back, what's even crazier is like, I remember capturing the photos, and like, I always get home and back up my photos. I remember looking through, because I'm just in the moment still, especially when it's a great session. And I remember looking through and like seeing the connection between y'all two, the laughs. It's like, I'm here, but I'm not here.
Yeah.
And I was like, now looking back on it, like you said, the fact that it was, the reason behind the photo shoot was supposed to be a different reason, and now just seeing the connection between y'all two still being strong.
Yeah.
It's like, it just makes sense.
Yes.
It just makes sense.
So that's how I initially met Davonte.
Yes.
And then just have been following him on social media and just been seeing the work that he's doing. And it was just like, I gotta have a Candid Convo with Davonte. And Davonte, you know, I slid into the DM and was like, hey, you know, can we talk? And you was like, for sure. Like,
say less.
Let's
set the date. Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen.
And so let's jump in. So I want to know about how did you initially get into photography? Okay.
Let's get into it. I'll give my version, which is, of course, at a young age, is always loving photos. I remember, I guess my key core memory is having a baby photo book.
Okay.
And I have an aunt who had the Polaroid from back in the day, who would take a picture and it prints right out immediately.
Exactly.
So as I got older, they gave me these photo books, and it's like me as a kid or as a newborn, as the baby. And then throughout my years, in addition to like the school photos, these are just like candid film photos around the house.
Right.
I'm like, oh, that's always been so cool to me. Instagram came about. All my friends, they wanted to take my picture.
So you were taking pictures at that time?
On the iPhone at the time.
Okay.
You know, Instagram, you just take and upload. It didn't really stick to me still. And I always wanted to get into it, but you know, when I was working in the office, you work 7 to 4. I get off, go to the gym.
Right.
Personal time. Everything. There never was time to invest in learning. COVID happened.
So COVID was the game changer, you guys.
COVID was a terrible time all around for America or for the world.
Yeah.
It gave me time to sit and be still.
Okay.
to look up cameras, you know what I'm saying, to do my research.
Right.
To then make the investment in the camera.
Right.
Did I almost have a panic attack? Yes.
Why did you have a panic attack?
My first camera, it was $600, I remember, from Amazon.
Okay.
And I stared at it. I closed the tab. I went on about 3 days back and forth.
Right.
And I finally hit the button, closed the laptop, and said, I'm just going to get it when it get here.
Right.
What I didn't think about is COVID. There's nobody to take pictures of. So I'm taking pictures of plants and anything I can get my eye on. I'm taking nature walks, taking pictures of flowers. So that's how it started. And then over time, just meeting people and getting out there, which I'm very introverted. People like to think I'm not because, you know, I go out a lot. And people are like, you're not introverted, you're extroverted. I'm like, I really enjoy being like quiet time by myself, but I like being around people that I know.
Right, of course.
So
they call you intro extra.
Intro extra, exactly, exactly. Okay. Some type of balance there.
Yeah.
And then just over time, just pushing myself to be in front of people and to meet people and like not have social anxiety and be nervous. And nobody wants to work with someone who doesn't believe in themselves. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Or at least that's what it can come off as.
That's what it can come off as. Yeah.
Because you do believe in yourself. It's just like, you know, hey, I just got to get adjusted.
And one thing I went through for a long time was imposter syndrome. We can get into that later if you want to. But yeah, like I didn't call myself a photographer until about 2 years ago.
But so did you not feel like you were a photographer because you didn't go to photography school? Or
you are right on path. There are people who I looked up to when I got into it. They've been doing this for 10, even 5 years at the minimum. Let's say 5 years at the minimum.
Okay.
I was 2 years in.
Right.
So I'm like, in my head, I'm a guy with the camera who takes photos, which essentially is what a photographer. Exactly. But I was trying in my head, I didn't belong in that field yet because I hadn't put enough time in.
Got you.
Regardless of my results and me loving what I'm posting, it was still a battle there.
Yeah, understand.
So that's really, you hit it right on the nail on the head.
Yeah, I definitely understand. And I think that when we've been called to do something, it doesn't matter if you've been doing it for 5 minutes or 10 years.
Yes.
If you're called, you're called.
You called.
That's it.
And you answer that call.
And that's it.
And look, God, listen, God is into everything, you know what I'm saying? And he has put me in front of people and around people and opened doors through just photography and me believing in myself, me trusting him to believe in myself and to continue to grow and be confident. And like you said, you got the call. You don't just want to learn something for no reason. You can.
Or be passionate about it. Or even be able to go back and say, hey, I had a baby book.
Yes.
There were Polaroids. It was this, you have a timeline of it.
Yes.
So it doesn't matter about how long you've been doing it. It was already put in you. And then you can also tell that through your work.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, you getting calls. It ain't a shortage of...
not at all. Not at all. And everyone I get, I promise you, I thank God. I'm like, wow, this person really... I'm always asked, how do you find me? Instagram. Word of mouth is really my biggest one. And I love people say word of mouth.
Yeah.
Because you're speaking on a product that you know.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot for a person to really put their name behind something and say, hey, you should spend your money with this person.
Right.
And then, that's pretty much me and you, how we met.
Yeah,
word of mouth.
How we met.
And then
like saw your good work.
Yes.
And I was like, ooh, I need to get some photos done.
And it's like when I saw your podcast, I'm like, oh, because we talked about it before.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't know what I need to do. I need to take classes. Nah, you go. Trust me, you got it. I was like, you have everything for it.
Yeah.
Just start here, and you're gonna figure it out.
And I'll figure it out.
And you figured it out. And I saw you. I saw when you started. I was like, wow, I'm so proud.
Yes.
And then you asked me. I said, oh.
Yes.
Immediately, yes.
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 So okay, thank you so much.
Of course.
Yes. So okay, it started back with the baby book. Went through, started using your iPhone, taking pictures of friends.
Yes.
COVID hit.
Yes.
You bought a camera. Started just taking pictures of nature. And then when was the first client booking session?
Oh man, this is so crazy. And this again was when I was like, you know what, God, I see you.
Right.
So I have a friend or friends who they were expecting a baby.
Okay.
And they frequently travel to Florida, and it was like, hey, Vontae, we want you to come to Florida with us to take our maternity photos.
Wow.
I said, me?
Davonte?
I said, me? But he's like, yeah, we gonna pay for your flight. I said,
wow.
I said, this can't be true.
Yeah.
I said, but you know what? I would love to. Went down there. We went to Siesta Keys in Florida, drove, had a beautiful morning session.
Yeah.
And to sit back and think, like, this is my first, client, even though it's my first client,
wow,
who's booked me to have a destination maternity,
yeah,
is I could have never pictured that when I first bought my camera.
Yeah.
So from that was my first one. And
that
went
was
out there and we got so much great feedback off of it. And it just felt fulfilling.
Yeah.
It was like, okay.
And that's like a wonderful first time experience. Who can say that as a photographer that their first client said, I'm going to fly you out.
Yes.
This is what I need you to do.
Yes.
Like, that's what I'm trying to say.
And then to deliver and like,
Right.
you know what, I'm called to the moment. All the research I've done, the preparation, it's time to put it to use.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now what you going to do?
Right.
And to execute is like, all right, cool, let's keep going.
You can't stand behind the door opened up, and
yeah.
you can't be behind a door pulling your pants up.
Nah,
you already got to be dressed.
Come on now. Perfect.
You was already dressed.
Yes.
I'm ready to go.
Yes.
I'm on the flight.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was amazing. And then I read through like blogs and forums of, you know, you never know what you can learn from someone.
Mm-hmm.
So I read forums and photography like, oh, in this situation I did this, and I see people like getting started out, and they're like, oh, well, this is my first session. And we all have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
So when I tell people mine is so different,
right?
And it's like, oh wow, well, how'd you do that?
Mm-hmm.
I can't God put these people into my life, I guess I would say.
Yeah.
But I can't. Who would if I don't pick the camera, they go with somebody else.
Right.
So it happens because it's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So everybody's journey is different.
Yeah. So what made you, you know, you said a lot of people ask you about like just how you got started. Are they asking because they want to become a photographer, or are they just inquiring?
I've had both.
Okay.
And what's
more in any one area?
What's happening more lately is I'm having people who reach out like, hey, like I would love to offer mentorships, or can I shadow you?
Okay.
Again, I'm looking around like me.
Yeah.
But now that I've been able to take a step back and look at my overall journey,
right?
I'm like, I would love to, because I didn't have like, I want to word this correctly. I didn't have a one person who I could go to ask questions.
Yeah.
Most of my research was YouTube.
Right.
And trial and error.
Right.
So I feel like if you can have that person to give you that feedback firsthand.
Yeah.
I would love to have had that person. Yeah. So if I get a chance to be that person, why full circle?
You have to be who you didn't have.
Exactly.
And I mean, people want someone to. I know I'm a very big person on like hold my hand through something. Yes. Like if I am doing something new, like hold my hand, like be with me, help me. I think too, to ask for help, to ask for mentorship
1,000%.
is very humbling,
1,000%.
you guys. And I think that we have to get back to that. We have to humble ourselves. Humble ourselves on. Like, I don't know everything.
I don't. And that's part of the journey is learning.
Yeah.
And I'm not so quick to, hey, pay me this price for mentorship.
Yeah.
Hey, look, you're in the Raleigh area. If it works out, if I have a session, and I have to meet you first.
Exactly.
I can't just invite you to any session and this is my first time meeting you. Now you're with the client and you're trying, is it genuine?
Because you're still a brand.
I'm still a brand. So the client, who we know you.
Right.
Who's this person?
Exactly.
Oh, it's somebody shadowing me. And now it can just go left. They can start taking photos, make the client feel like you just never know. So you want to know who you're working with still.
Yeah.
But I had a mom recently we had a Super Bowl or a watch party.
Yeah.
And the mom said her son wanted to, he's likes engineering, which I went to school for.
Okay.
And he also wants to get into photography. She asked my opinion, like, do you think it should take it, what you think is best? And she was like, I would love for him to be able to shadow you. And I was like, wow, another one. So yes, most people lately have been asking, like, how long have you been doing it? And they're like, oh wow. When I tell them like 4 years professionally, 3-4 years professionally, like, oh, I thought it'd be longer than that because of the results. Yeah. That's really what it is. So I would say majority of that, yes.
Okay, then. So it's humbling for them to ask you to shadow, but it's also humbling for you. Like, wow. But you never have the mindset of I've arrived. It's just like, this is a privilege.
Yes, exactly. I get to capture moments. Yeah. Like I get to capture love or lifestyle or milestones. Like, thank you for booking with me because you could have booked. It's a saturated market, so to speak. So thank you for finding me and booking with me. Yeah. Like I'll take it as an honor every time.
Yeah. So what is your favorite type of, I guess the word would be photography. So like weddings, baby showers, reveals. So what's your favorite?
Great question. I recently got this question and I love I'm falling more in love with connections. So I would group that as weddings, engagements, and like maternity.
Okay.
I do family shoots. I don't mainly broadcast those because a lot of those clients are, we went from maternity or from a wedding to maternity.
So you're growing with them.
We're growing with them.
Okay.
So they're like, hey, Vontae, like, do you mind doing a family photo shoot?
Got you.
I would love to. So I would say connection between people.
Okay.
I still do the creative shoots, like the one the amazing one we had at the studio with Kim with the rose. I love those. And I want to get more into passion products where I'm not just picking my camera up for business.
Okay.
So, but I would say connections, and I would say capturing love.
So what's a passion product?
A passion product is, for example, if I'm on Pinterest and I see a 90s inspired shoot.
Okay.
Where they might have gold grills in, or they might be like a 90s beauty style shoot where it's like a pin-up hairstyle, like black and white.
Yeah.
It might be that type of product.
Oh.
Where I might reach out to someone like, hey, do you mind collabing? Like, photos will be free. You might just have to get the makeup done. Or like, hey, I see someone on Instagram. I know they model. Would you mind working together?
Right.
Or like how I reach out to Kim. Hey, Kim, these outfits been going crazy.
Right.
When are you free to shoot? So just things like that with people I know or meeting people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or, you like sneakers.
Yes.
So it might be, hey, I'm just going to do like a sneaker shoot.
Exactly. You know what I mean? I've worked with clothing brands guys I know from college or have met through someone.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, I would love to do that. I would love to do that because it's passion.
Got you.
I want to be there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
I love it.
Yes,
so now with the photography, it sounds like you're willing to branch out in a different way and show more of your creativity, not necessarily we know he can take some good photos, y'all.
Right.
But now it's like, oh, I'm in this space.
Yes.
And so I enjoy doing this, and I want to share this with my community.
1000%. And and that goes back to speaking before, like, oh, I'm a creative.
Right.
But not wanting to say that or being scared to say that because somebody might challenge it.
Yeah.
A little too far confident now for anybody to be like, you're not that.
Exactly.
So it's like,
yeah,
you're not.
And the proof is in the pudding.
Yeah, exactly. And
you
like
know what
you said, just trusting yourself, trusting God, and now being able to stand 10 toes and be like, yeah, this is who I am. This is who I am.
So, all right, let's kind of transition out of your story and kind of move into how this has transformed you as a man. Okay. So, everybody knows when you take a picture, if you have a camera, you need a certain type of lens. There's different lenses now. Don't quote.
No, you on track. You on track.
There's different types of lenses that you need if someone is standing far away or someone is standing up close, or you want to get a wider version or a smaller version. And so we're going to take that and we're going to compare it to how has your lens changed, your outlook on your life, your career, your hobbies, your marriage.
Great question.
Those things.
Great question. I would say that's a great question. I would say overall, because I want to take my time.
Pick one. Yes. So let's start with you picked up running. So let's kind of talk about.
I tried. But working out for sure.
Working out for sure. So we can go with working out.
Always been in sports. Always been athletic. I would say trying to zone in on health.
Okay.
And this just making it more of a lifestyle, like a routine. And with the routines, you start, you stop. Yeah. I do have great genes. So sometimes I don't work as hard at the gym. But I'm also like, you know what? Don't let that be a crutch. Lock back in.
Right.
And just work every day to your goals.
Yeah.
Try to eat healthy. So I would say
that perspective shift changed with the working out.
Yes, exactly.
So it wasn't any more like aesthetics, but more so like I need to be healthy.
Yes, we have wedding days, 10, 12 hours.
Okay.
You're on your feet. You would like to be in shape so that when you're done, that day after, you feel like you got hit by a train. I'm telling you. If you're not used to stepping or, you're out of shape, it's going to wear and tear on your body.
Moving, bending, all of that for a photo shoot.
And wedding season, it gets busier. You can back-to-back weekends, and that's not including other sessions you have that are lifestyle or maternity. So you're on your feet. You're bending over, you're bending your back. You're getting these crazy positions, like using your body, and your body's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You're going to feel that the next day, I promise you.
Davonte, I didn't even think about that. So it was like, hey, if I'm going to be good and have stamina with my photography, then I need to take care of myself. It can't be no more do I look good on the beach or anything
exactly.
like that. It's like, no, I got to do this photo shoot and I got to stand for 10 hours.
I have to feel good.
Exactly.
I have to be hydrated. Like,
yeah, wow.
You don't want to eat Bojangles before you do a 10-hour wedding day.
No, you don't.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. So making sure I'm in the best condition to be able to deliver a great result.
Exactly. Yeah.
Has shaped me for sure. For sure.
Yeah. Okay, then. So I wasn't expecting that.
Yes.
So that actually was a really good answer. Okay. And I love it.
Great question.
So what about what kind of lens has changed with you as far as work?
Oh man. I had a previous my previous employer or position was good, but it kind of became stagnant in a sense. And
stagnant or comfortable?
Comfortable.
Okay.
And the room for growth, seemed like there was a ceiling.
Right.
I'm gonna compare this to my first camera to me upgrading to my second camera.
Okay.
So
you're doing a parallel.
You know, so I'm trying to stay with you. So upgraded from my first camera to my second camera. The job became comfortable, and I got it. I've never been a person who's like, I want to make no more money. Like, I'm fine right here. Like, I'm fine. And people looking around like, okay, because at the end of the day, I'm a grown man, so it's like you can't challenge it so much. But thank God for good friends. They like, this don't sound like you.
Right.
So then fast forward to me getting a new job, comes with more money and travel. But that's how I felt when I was able. I said I wasn't going to upgrade my camera until I booked enough sessions to pay for it.
Okay.
Where I don't come out of pocket.
Right.
So I was
already paid $600.
We already paid $600.
Right.
This next one, about 3-4 times that.
Exactly.
4 times that. Not including the lens.
Yeah. Okay.
So I saved up enough, like I said, with the sessions I was getting to be able to afford that. Another panic attack immediately. Close the laptop.
Right. But you had a plan.
But I had a plan.
Yeah,
so
you had a plan.
So with work, same thing. It's more responsibility. It's more visibility. But I knew what I wanted.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I know what I wanted that final result to look like for me.
Yeah.
Same as with the camera. You pick a lens, like you said, for the final result.
Exactly.
So that has helped me like, okay, let me be strategic in what type of role I want.
Right.
And then that final result is me getting the job that I want.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes. And I think too, like, I've come to realize that you gotta take a step. Like,
day one or one day? One day or day one? Which one are you gonna pick? You know what I'm saying?
You have to take okay, this ain't hitting the way that it used to.
It's not.
And I know it's not going to hit any different unless I take a step.
Yes.
I don't know what is going to happen behind the step, but when you step out, it's like, I'm out here now.
I'm out here.
So
exactly,
something got to happen.
Exactly.
Something got to work. And I can't go back.
Can't go back. I got to make something happen.
And
you said it perfectly. That's literally what it is. Taking that step and then, all right, I'm here. I got to figure it out.
Right.
You jumping in the deep end of the pool. You sink or you swim. You got to figure it out. Exactly.
I'm going to have to swim.
I might have to swim. I didn't jump in with sinking being an option.
Right.
So I'm going to have to swim.
Yeah.
If it's going to take me longer to get to the side.
Yeah.
As long as I get to the side, the goal is the goal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's really what it is.
So we talked about health.
Yes.
We've talked about career.
Yes.
What about the misses?
Yes.
How did your lens change with that?
Man, I think overall just being around love from different scenes. When I say scenes, I guess age groups, I should say.
Yeah.
Or stages. I think stages would be a better word.
Okay.
People who are newly married, people married for 10 years, some 20, 30, 40. And I always ask them, I'm like, hey, what's some advice you could give?
Right.
Good or bad?
Right.
If you want to share the ugly, if your partner's fine with that right there, or if the guy's talking to the side, he like, hey, look, do this thing that I didn't do.
Right.
We'll save you some time or whatever. So I would say just perspective and gaining perspective. Because growing up, I didn't see like a lot of successful marriages or a lot of marriages in general. So a lot of that is learning as you go, growing as a man. So if I can ask him, like, back to asking for help.
Yeah.
I can't, if I move off of what I don't know, I'm going to make more mistakes.
Yeah.
So if I can ask, like, hey, what's something, you don't have to get too detailed.
Right.
Oh man.
Because you can put it together.
Yeah. If I ask if I ask a guy, hey, what's something what's my advice you would give?
Yeah.
Oh, listen. It's powerful.
Right.
Because you can listen or you can hear.
Yeah. It's a difference.
If it's something as simple as be present.
Yeah.
You can be around somebody and not be present.
Exactly.
And in that same sense, you could be hearing them and not listening to what they're saying.
Exactly.
So I think just God put me around these people in these different scenarios and situations and being able to connect with them and just get feedback like that I wouldn't meet outside of this session. Because I'm not, back to me being introverted at times, I'm not stopping somebody in Target to ask for advice.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So if I'm at a family function or a friend's function, I'm not going to ask their uncle just randomly, hey, because he don't know me.
Yeah.
So being around these people, again, is for a reason. And whether it be a session or someone they brought to a session, one that sticks out to me, I did a graduation session for a friend in Wilmington for a graduation. Okay. And she also asked me to capture her there. It was her grandmother's birthday, and she had like all her kids there and grandkids. And she actually told the family, hey, my friend's coming photographer. If y'all want to do beach sessions, you know, book him directly. Booked the session. One family booked the session. It was like the mother, the father, the sons, and then their wives and then their grandkids.
Wow.
Ended up talking to the granddad essentially, and great conversation. Him and the wife, and they were like, wow, just gave me so much knowledge.
Right.
And actually, one of their sons got married. I did the wedding last month. And they saw me there, and they actually had our photo that I took of them and the kids. She gifted that to their kids in the form of a puzzle.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That was creative.
I said, wow. Yeah. And she pretty much gave it as a symbolism. A puzzle you can do by yourself or you can work together. Sit down with your family.
It's better if you work together.
Spend time, put the puzzle together.
Yeah.
And that was, again, where's that happening at for me? Yeah. So, yes, I would say knowledge, insight, and just meeting some amazing people.
Yeah. And seeing what success looks like.
Yes.
And being able to glean from that success and say, okay, yes, it's me and my wife, but how can I apply it just to us? Because this was like generations.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And so just because you're working with generations doesn't mean that what they share can't be applied to your current
1,000%.
Situation.
1,000%.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that is just like so awesome.
It was powerful. It was touching. And like you said, back to the camera relating to it, it's like you find yourself meeting people, and at the time you may not, like you said, you may not know the reason, like our session was, and then later it reveals itself.
Yeah.
And yeah. I'm always speechless just thinking about how the doors is open. Like you said, people put me around.
And you know what? To wrap up the session.
Yes.
It's not funny that you said imposter syndrome. So when I say it's funny, it's like coincidental.
I laugh about it now.
At the beginning of every show, I'm like, you're going to have some time to just brag on yourself.
Yes.
Tell people just about you.
Yes.
And so we didn't do that this time.
Yeah, okay.
But I can do it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Because it's from what I'm just gathering from this conversation, it's like, he's a humble man.
Yes.
He's a photographer, but that's not the big point. He has like awesome character, awesome integrity, and someone that other people want to be around.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Yes. And so I've just learned so many more things about you in this session, and I'm just so happy that we've had this opportunity to sit down and just talk and just, get to know each other more, but also for people to hear your story and be inspired to. They may not do photography, but whatever their photography is, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
They go out, they pursue it, and they do it.
Just know that you can. Yeah. It's been amazing. Again, back to super proud of you for building your platform. You're a natural, you know what I'm saying? It's in you. So I mentioned to you during our last studio session that I wanted to speak on just my journey. And then you had the platform, and this is the first time, so it's amazing. It's full circle.
And it's likely for you not going to be the last.
No. Yeah, I hope not.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to want to know, just because, yes, it started in around COVID.
Yes.
But every time you sit down and you talk to somebody about your journey, it's going to be a whole different.
1,000%.
You know what I'm saying?
1,000%.
It's going to be like, oh, well, I didn't mention this, or I didn't mention that,
exactly.
or this wasn't the audience for that.
Yeah.
You may have a whole different audience where you have to share another part of you. And I think as people, we need to get back to sharing.
Yes.
Not just like, it's all about me. They don't need to know this or
Gatekeeping
that.
and trying to be mysterious and all of
And
this.
it's like, no, like I say, we don't have to go to Google for everything. If I know you and I know things that you do, then you can help me.
Exactly. Community.
Exactly.
Building
community. And that's what we have.
We do.
You know what I mean? That's what we have. So as I end every show,
this has been great. It's refreshing. I just want to say that before you say.
Thank you so much for coming.
Of course.
I traveled down here. We had to figure out a place to meet, and you were just very flexible. And so thank you.
It had to happen. Of course. You're welcome.
And so as I end every session, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. You have a hope and a future that's attached to you. And I hope that in this session, you see our purpose and your purpose as well. Till the next time, we'll see you on the next episode.